Hi, Mr. Bradley. Thanks a lot for taking your time for my interview of my project for the demonstration of the objectives of effective leadership class that I had. And thanks again. And I have some questions ready to ask from you. But first of all, can you please give a small and short description of your business and about your leadership and the position of leadership that you have in your business, please? Thank you.
Actually, I'm the owner of IMB Custodial Services. I've been in ownership for 20 years at this service. I basically service small businesses throughout the community. I also will do some commercial, depends on the need at the time of the business. I also employ up to 30 employees. I have one management on staff. That's who I depend on to help get everything going at that time.
All right, thanks for your answer. And also, do you have a strategy or any ideal way that you can create high-performing business or high-performing organizations as a leader?
Well, the basic strategy is the people. The people you employ is going to always be the strategy, because the fact is you have to have good people in order to create better leadership within the people that you have on staff. Because if they are willing to take things upon their own and do the job without anyone being around, that makes things operate a lot better.
All right, thanks a lot for your answer. And what do you think about teamwork in your business?
Oh, teamwork is most important, because if you don't have a team and people does things on their own, you tend to lose sight on the objective of what you should be doing at that time. So you always want people to work together to be more efficient in the job that they're doing.
So, as a leader, to enable teams to thrive, what do you think as a leader you should do?
Oh, first of all, you got to get to know the people. You got to want them to trust you, and trust you in how you lead them and the ability to help them do the job that they need to get done.
All right. Thanks for your answer. And thanks for your answer. What is the single most important thing in your business?
The most important thing in my business is that I meet the needs of the people, because without the people, I'm going to lose out. So what I do is I have to strive to make sure I meet cost effective. I'm able to give that back to the consumer that I'm working for by finding ways to lower the cost. And by doing that also, I can make it better for my employees. That way I can pay them a little bit more money, so that way I know things are getting done on time and efficient.
How do you encourage creative thinking within your organization?
I encourage them by giving tasks out to my employees and giving them encouragement when the task I give them, when they finish the task, I also sit there and sit them down and let them know, and I acknowledge the way that they're doing the task and make them feel more wanted to take more responsibilities on.
All right, thank you, sir. Where do the great ideas come from in your organization, business?
Sometimes the idea comes from your employees. You can always sometimes look around to them, because they always have better ways of doing things, unfortunately sometimes, because they're actually doing the work.
Thank you. And as I know, you have been in your business and you have been in the leadership position for more than 20 years. And what advice would you give someone going into a leadership position for the first time?
What I would do, I would tell them, don't get the big head. take your time, learn your people, because once you learn your people, you'll notice leadership will always run smoother and you'll have less headaches, because if not, it will be a downhill battle.
Thank you. Another question. What is the biggest challenge facing leaders today, and what is the biggest challenge that you face as a leader?
The biggest challenge I face is sometimes the competitiveness of other business. You always got to compete, because there's always going to be a competing market. Somebody is going to always try to outbid you or outdo you in this business. So you have to always maintain your A game and stay focused on what the goal is. That means to satisfy the customers.
Thank you. And what are the most important decisions you make as a leader of your business?
Well, always the most important decision is money. Finding better ways to save money to keep your business maintained without going under. That is a great challenge.
Thank you. How do you help a new employee understand the culture of your business?
Sometimes that's difficult. You sometimes have to walk them through step by step to get them started, because everybody don't understand the culture of how it is when it comes to cleaning and maintaining floors. Sometimes it looks easy, but it's an art. All businesses, sometimes you do, it's an art to it. So sometimes you just have to take them by the hand, step by step, to get them to understand the culture and what you're doing and how to be the best that they can be at that task.
Thank you. How do you or other leaders in your business communicate the core values?
Well, first of all, you gotta maintain communication with your management and your team leaders, because without them, you're just another person.
Right.
So therefore, you have to teach them how to communicate beyond you and what your standard goals would be for your business. And always know the task is to satisfy the customer. You have to make sure that is maintained at all times.
Thank you. In the leadership, empowerment in the business is considered to be very important, which means sharing knowledge and information within the business. So, do you think this empowerment occurs, or empowerment always occurs in your business?
Well, I ain't gonna say it always. It would help sometime if it always, but I would say it's a big part of it to make sure that that takes place.
Thanks a lot for conducting this interview with me. Because I'd like to take a position of leadership in the future, I do have very important question concerning about leadership. And my question is, if I would like to take a position of leadership in the future, what should I start doing from now, and how should I start building leadership skills from now before I take the position of leadership in the future?
Well, your number one goal should be research. You should always research whatever it is you plan on going into. That would be a most important thing for you to do, because you have to know the people that you want to encourage to come on board with you and how to do that as a leader. Also, when you look further down into the future, you must be able to adapt, because the fact that technology will always change. So you must keep your eye on technology and what's best as you going forward become a leader.
Thank you. And do you also think building mission for the business is very important before you take a leadership position?
Of course. Without a mission, you don't know where you're going to go. You can always be lost. Always establish a mission as one of your top priority goals.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. And it seems like there are a lot of custodial businesses around in our community, and there are a lot of competition. And do you think there are going to be more opportunities like custodial businesses for new leaders that tries to take like leadership positions as custodial business leaders in the future?
Oh yes. Oh yes, there's always going to be room. We'll never say it won't be room because there's going to always be a need for someone to clean. So that's always a fact that as you venture off into that field, you've got to have a very open mind and you've got to be willing to work hard at it in order to accomplish your ultimate goal, and that is to make money.
Thank you. And we see that our president and economy is, or from president's speech, our economy is going up, and I think this is also going to be a great impact for new businesses to be created and to be in our communities in the future. And I'm pretty sure this will also go to a different, like commercial or other kind of businesses that will need to have eventually a custodial services in their homes and businesses. So building new business, as you are a leader of the custodial service business, building new business and new leaders going to custodial services with an expansion of the economy in the future, do you think it will be a good idea?
Of course, it will always be a good idea because one thing I know for 20 years, I've always been around, and that lets me know that in the future we're going to still be here because the demographic of our area will always maintain a way of looking at it as being need of a service person.
Well, thanks a lot for all of your replies, and it tells me that I learned a lot about leadership and what leadership position means and what are the important core values and important things that leadership positions have and the organizations and businesses have. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.